It's a real mixed bag in the sense that the region has continued to show increased benefit, increased reductions in ozone numbers. So as far as we've been keeping ahead of the curve as far as non-attainment goes for many years. Houston's been in non-attainment for a generation, and we've continued to be ahead of the curve as far as those numbers go. So one concern is the concept of continuing to lower the numbers and the ability of the local region to meet the requirements. It occurs to me that the way the current Clean Air Act works, because if you go into non-attainment, it's the local region that's required to make changes that bring about the better air and bring you back into attainment. It occurs to me that the non-attainment region, the way the non-attainment region is defined, is really too limited. That is, local jurisdictions, local government doesn't really have all the tools they need because they don't have adequate jurisdiction over all those controls. They can't control cars and vehicles, which have all gotten cleaner thanks to the EPA diesel cleaner fleet rules, but there are still a lot of influences outside of our region that we can't control, and that's why it's very difficult the way the rules work for just the local region, just the local county and cities to be required to implement control strategies to get them into back into attainment when those may be inadequate controls, inadequate rules, inadequate tools.
Yeah.
So that's really and that's why transport is so important too, because without rules and abilities to control what comes in, the addition of that pollution from outside sources makes it very, very tough for the locals to do anything about it.
Now, there was a suggestion, one of the TCEQ representatives suggested, oh, well, maybe we need to do more monitoring to get to the root of that question, but what has been the response of EPA on that point?
Well, I don't think EPA has a difficulty with additional monitoring. I think really the only issue is one of money, how to put up the new monitors. One of the other questions was increased accuracy.
So that would impact transport issues. That's what
it would tell you more about it if you had more monitors across the state, and you could watch as ozone was created in one area, and as that ozone cloud moved across, that the numbers would rise and it would show you the transport, the movement of that pollution. And in fact, that's something that I'd be glad to give you information from one of our sister councils of government up in CAPCOG up in Austin. They commissioned a Baylor aircraft that followed a plume from Houston and followed it to Waco, and they had ozone sensors on board, and they literally could crisscross the plume, and you can see without any question that ozone cloud followed all the way to Waco from Houston.
So do you think that with better monitoring, better technology, better understanding, that the EPA has a willingness at least to work with transport issues?
Oh, I think they are. I think they are. I think that the EPA doesn't have a problem with more monitoring, and I think everybody's pretty much on the same page as far as better information, better data. And I look forward to that as well, because then that will help us define what we have control over and what we don't have control over, because that's the critical issue. When you go into non-attainment, it's your baby.
Right.
So you've got to handle it. And the question remains, to what extent can we handle it?
Okay. All right.